4 years, China has been changing things up in the automotive world with a strategy that's as bold as it is effective, launching electric cars at prices that make you do a double take. Again and again, they've found ways to create EVs that deliver decent performance at costs so low they've left legacy car manufacturers scratching their heads. But now, China's gone and done something that's causing even more of a stir. They've unveiled an electric car that seems too good to be true. The BYD Seagull is a tiny, unassuming EV that's managed to send shockwaves through the industry. First impressions? It's not trying to look like a futuristic spaceship or scream, "Look at me," with flashy designs. Nope, it's quiet, almost suspiciously so. But that's where the charm lies. In a world obsessed with extravagant EV prototypes and price tags that make your wallet cry, the Seagull has arrived with an absurdly low starting price of around $11,000. And here's the kicker. It promises a driving range of 200 miles. On paper, those specs almost sound like the kind of thing car enthusiasts would laugh off as a pipe dream. A car that's dirt cheap and doesn't skimp on range? Please. Yet here it is, rolling off production lines and onto the streets of China, turning heads and upending expectations. If you're a big-shot automaker sitting in a fancy boardroom, this is the kind of news that ruins your day. The Seagull's price-to-performance ratio isn't just competitive, it's downright threatening. It's forcing established brands to rethink their strategies, and fast. BYD is no stranger to the EV game. They're one of the biggest names in the industry, consistently pushing the envelope with innovative tech and aggressive pricing. Unlike many companies struggling to balance cost and quality, BYD seems to have found the secret sauce, and the Seagull is proof of that. One reason for this success is BYD's vertical integration. They don't just assemble cars, they make a lot of the components in-house, including batteries, which are typically one of the most expensive parts of an EV. By cutting out middlemen and streamlining production, BYD has managed to slash costs without sacrificing too much in terms of performance or reliability. The Seagull is a prime example of this strategy in action. It's a compact car, designed for urban environments where agility and efficiency matter most. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of higher-end EVs, but that's not the point. The Seagull is built for people who need a practical, affordable, and eco-friendly way to get from A to B. And it does that remarkably well. The Seagull isn't just a car. It's a statement. It's BYD saying, we can make electric vehicles accessible to everyone, not just the wealthy. And that's a big deal. 4 years, one of the biggest barriers to EV adoption has been cost. While luxury EVs from Tesla and other brands have made headlines, they've also been out of reach for the average consumer. The Seagull changes that narrative, offering an option that's affordable without feeling like a compromise. But this isn't just a win for consumers. It's a wake-up call for competitors. Established automakers can't ignore the Seagull's success. If they want to stay relevant, they'll need to figure out how to compete with BYD's pricing and efficiency. That could mean investing in new technologies, rethinking production processes, or even forming partnerships to share resources. Whatever the solution, one thing's clear. The Seagull has raised the stakes. And this is just the beginning. If BYD can pull off something as impressive as the Seagull at such a low price point, what's stopping them from scaling up? A future where electric cars dominate the roads feels a lot closer thanks to this plucky little EV. And while that might sound like great news for the planet, it's bound to cause sleepless nights for executives at rival companies. With its sharp looks on the outside, you might be wondering if the BYD Seagull's interior can keep up with that vibe. The BYD Seagull's interior brings a fresh, youthful vibe that feels both modern and playful. It's designed to stand out without being too over the top, making it a great choice for drivers who want a bit of personality in their car. The whole look is tied together with an angular design theme that mirrors the sharp lines of the car's exterior. The dashboard has this really cool wing design, which, fun fact, is inspired by a seagull's wing. BYD has been using this design language in their Ocean series, so if you've seen those models, you'll notice the similarity. The color scheme inside the Seagull is anything but boring. BYD has combined a classic black base with a light grayish-blue tone and added pops of highlighter green stitching for some extra flair. It's the kind of interior that feels vibrant and fresh, appealing to younger drivers or anyone tired of bland, monotone car cabins. Technology is a big deal inside the Seagull, and BYD hasn't skimped here. The centerpiece is a 10.1-inch rotatable touchscreen. This screen is pretty neat because you can switch it between horizontal and vertical orientations, depending on what you prefer or what's more convenient for the app or feature you're using. Alongside that, there's a digital instrument cluster that comes in either a 5-inch or 7-inch size, depending on the model you go for. It displays all the essential driving info right where you need it, and it's crisp and easy to read. For those who like tactile controls, the Seagull hasn't gone full touchscreen. There are physical buttons on the dashboard and steering wheel, so you don't have to deal with fumbling through menus while driving. Plus, there's a wireless charging pad for your phone, which is a small but handy touch that modern drivers will appreciate. Comfort-wise, the Seagull balances sporty and practical. The front seats are bucket style, which might feel a little fancy for a compact car, but they do add to the sporty vibe. In terms of space, the rear cargo area isn't massive. It offers about 130 liters of space with all the seats up. But fold down the rear seats, and you can expand that to 930 liters, which is impressive for a car this size. If you're the type to haul groceries, sports gear, or a weekend's worth of camping supplies, you'll have no problem making it work. The higher trims of the Seagull, like the Freedom and Flying editions, come with a few extra perks. Heated front seats are included, which is a blessing in colder climates, and the driver's seat is 6-way electrically adjustable. That means you can tweak it just right for maximum comfort, whether you're cruising around the city or tackling a longer road trip. For 2025, BYD has introduced a few upgrades to keep things fresh. The sealing fabric has been improved, making it more durable and less prone to wear and tear. There are also new interior color options, including Dune Pink and Ocean Blue. These new tones give the interior a more cohesive, harmonious look, perfect for anyone who likes their car to feel a little more personalized. On top of that, the air conditioning system has been enhanced across all trims, so everyone gets a little more comfort no matter which model they choose. The BYD Seagull is turning heads as one of the most competitive affordable electric cars out there, and it's stacking up well against other budget-friendly EVs like the Hyundai Inster and the Dacia Spring. These three cars are all aimed at drivers who want a reliable, eco-friendly ride without blowing their budget, but they each bring something a little different to the table. The Seagull comes equipped with an anti-lock braking system, ABS, electronic brake force distribution, vehicle stability control, traction control, and even a crash sensor that automatically unlocks the doors and switches on the hazard lights in case of an accident. This small detail could make a big difference in a stressful situation. Helping passengers get out safely and signaling to others that help is needed are crucial safety features. If you've ever had to stop on a hill, you'll appreciate Hill Start Assist Control, which keeps the car from rolling backward when you're getting going. And if you're heading downhill, the Downhill Assist Control takes over to manage your speed, so you don't have to ride the brakes. The Seagull's passive safety features are just as impressive. It's equipped with airbags in all the right places. Driver, passenger, and curtain airbags provide a solid cushion in case of a collision. For families, Isofix mounts make it easy to securely install child seats, giving parents one less thing to worry about. The car's body structure is another highlight, built with 61% high-strength steel to better absorb and distribute impact forces. Front and side impact beams add an extra layer of protection, reinforcing the car's ability to withstand crashes. If you're into techie safety extras, the Seagull doesn't disappoint. While not standard on all models, higher trims may include features like adaptive cruise control, which adjusts your speed to maintain a safe distance from the car ahead, and lane keeping assist, which nudges the car back into its lane if you start to drift. Automated emergency braking is another game changer, stepping in to apply the brakes if a collision seems imminent. Even parking is made easier with a rear camera and parking sensors, which help you avoid those embarrassing or expensive bumps and scrapes. The Seagull has done well in safety tests too, earning a 3A rating that reflects its focus on keeping everyone inside as safe as possible. It scored particularly well for collision safety, with nearly perfect marks for side impacts and whiplash protection. For a car in this price range, these results are pretty impressive and speak to BYD's commitment to safety. It's clear BYD wanted to offer something that feels a little more premium despite the budget-friendly price tag. The Hyundai Inster, from what we know, leans into tech with dual 10.25-inch screens, vehicle-to-load capability for powering other devices, and even a heat pump to keep things cozy in colder weather. The Dacia Spring keeps things simple and functional, with fewer frills. It does have a front trunk for extra storage, but it lacks V2L and other fancy extras. The Hyundai Inster's pricing hasn't been officially announced yet, but it's expected to stay competitive, especially in Europe. As for the Dacia Spring, it starts at roughly €16,000, which converts to about $17,700. That's nearly double the Seagull's starting price in China, making the Spring feel a little less appealing unless simplicity is your top priority. Design-wise, the BYD Seagull has a slightly wider body than the Hyundai Inster, which could translate to a bit more room inside. The Inster, meanwhile, is compact and clearly designed with tight urban spaces in mind. The Dacia Spring leans into its basic, utilitarian look and keeps things small and straightforward. While all three vehicles focus on practicality, the Seagull and Inster seem to aim for a more polished experience, while the Spring embraces its minimalist identity. But a car's worth isn't just about price and design. Let's talk about how the Seagull actually performs when it hits the road. The BYD Seagull's efficiency in real-world driving is a mixed bag, depending on how and where you drive, the weather, and a few other factors. Like most EVs, it doesn't always match the shiny numbers you see in marketing materials, but it still holds its own when you take a closer look at how it performs day to day. On paper, the Seagull offers two options: a smaller battery that claims 305 kilometers and a larger one promising up to 405 kilometers. Those are numbers based on the CLTC standard, which tends to be a bit optimistic. In real-world conditions, the larger battery tends to deliver closer to 320 kilometers per charge, which is still respectable for a car at this price point. Seasonal changes also play a role. In the warmer months of spring, summer, and autumn, you can expect to get over 80% of the advertised range, especially in stop-and-go city driving. Winter, though, is another story. The colder temperatures knock the range down to around 70%, which is pretty typical for EVs since batteries don't love the cold. BYD claims the Seagull uses about 9.1 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers under the CLTC standard for the 38 kilowatt-hour model. However, when you take it out on real roads, the story changes. If you're cruising at a steady 90 kilometers per hour, it'll sip about 15 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, translating to around 4.1 miles per kilowatt-hour. That's pretty decent, but things get trickier when you crank up the heat, literally. Using the heater bumps up energy consumption to around 17.2 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, so you'll want to factor that in when planning longer trips. Speed is another major factor. The faster you go, the more juice you'll burn through. At 120 kilometers per hour, the Seagull's consumption shoots up to around 19 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers. That's a big jump from its efficiency at slower speeds. It's not exactly surprising, but it's worth keeping in mind if you're a fan of highway driving. Heating and cooling systems also have an impact. For example, Running a 2 kilowatts heater at 90 kilometers per hour can knock off about 25 kilometers from your total range. It's not a deal breaker, but it's one of those little quirks that EV owners quickly get used to managing. The Seagull does have some tricks up its sleeve to help you get the most out of its battery. Regenerative braking is a big one. Every time you slow down or hit the brakes, the car captures some of that energy and feeds it back into the battery. This is especially helpful in city driving, where you're constantly stopping and starting. On highways, keeping your speed steady is another good way to stretch your range. Sudden accelerations might be fun, but they'll drain the battery faster than you might expect. When it comes to maneuvering through the daily grind of city streets, the Seagull really shines. The BYD Seagull is a solid match for city life, with a bunch of features that make it perfect for weaving through traffic and handling all the chaos of urban driving. Its compact design is one of its biggest strengths. This thing is small enough to squeeze into tight parking spots or dart down narrow streets without breaking a sweat. You know those moments when you're circling the block looking for a spot, and you see something that looks too tight? The Seagull fits right in, making it a dream for city dwellers. On top of that, it has a tight turning radius, which really shines when you're navigating crowded intersections or trying to make U-turns on narrow roads. If you've ever felt like a three-point turn takes forever in a bigger car, you'll appreciate how nimble the Seagull feels. It's like it was built for the stop-and-go rhythm of city traffic. Performance-wise, the Seagull knows how to handle itself. One of the perks of having an electric motor is that instant torque. It's ready to go as soon as you hit the pedal. That quick acceleration is a lifesaver in stop-and-go traffic. When the light turns green or you need to merge into a gap, the Seagull doesn't hesitate. Handling is decent, though it's not going to blow anyone away. It's more of a gets-the-job-done vibe. If you're expecting sporty, razor-sharp turns, this isn't the car for that. But for zipping around town and running errands, it's smooth and predictable. Some drivers have mentioned the ride can feel a bit bouncy, especially over rough patches or speed bumps, but it's not a deal-breaker. Think of it as part of the charm of driving a lightweight city car. Finally, the Seagull's rotating touchscreen is one of those features that feels small at first glance, but turns out to be a total game-changer once you start using it. This 10.1-inch screen is all about versatility, letting you switch between landscape and portrait orientations depending on what you're doing. The BYD Seagull stands out with its innovative rotating touchscreen, which enhances usability by allowing drivers to switch between portrait and landscape modes effortlessly. This feature optimizes navigation in portrait mode, providing a taller, clearer map view, while landscape mode is ideal for media and entertainment. While most apps adapt seamlessly, third-party systems like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay may have limited support for portrait mode. Beyond its infotainment system, the Seagull excels in charging convenience. It supports both AC and DC charging, making it adaptable to different settings. DC fast charging can boost the battery from 30% to 80% in just 30 minutes, while home charging with a standard wall charger takes around 4.3 to 5.6 hours, making overnight charging practical. Its compatibility with public Type 2 charging stations and portable travel chargers ensures reliable power access for city driving and long trips. Environmentally, the Seagull contributes to sustainability with zero emissions and energy-efficient lithium iron phosphate (LFP) battery technology. This battery type is safer, more durable, and less reliant on rare materials, reducing environmental impact. Additionally, the quiet electric powertrain helps minimize noise pollution in urban areas. Overall, the BYD Seagull is a practical, affordable, and eco-friendly EV that offers a well-rounded driving experience. With its flexible infotainment, efficient charging options, and sustainability benefits, it presents a compelling choice for those transitioning to electric mobility.